It might have been the ghost of his wife, and only I could see her. I would never know. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness and complaining about the elderly podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am elderly Nate Ball.
I am average-aged Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Hamburger Hater from Monstroco. Do you not have time to cook dinner for a bunch of irredeemable just absolute donkey shit, dog kicking, wet ass, hasn't got a decent bone in their body, mother. Give them this shit. They'll slurp it down like the pigs they are. Hamburger Hater from Monstroco. What the fuck?
I had no idea that our casual talking point up front was going to tie into the product.
Neither did I. I kind of forgot until it happened, and I was like, oh god, it's happening. Showbiz magic.
I didn't.
Don't ruin it.
I didn't know the ad was gonna have so many curse words that I gotta bleep out in the first minute.
I just read the copy that Monstroco sends over, because you know what happens if you don't, Roger. You know what happens.
That's fair.
You get the T virus. You get long T virus, like Leon has in Resident Evil Requiem, which he seems to be like living a perfectly fine with, and all the people who died from it like were murdered. So it's like, can you just live and be like a marbled hunk?
Right. It's possible that there are no downsides to having long T virus.
I guess you do at some point turn into like
you might become a crazy monster.
Bioweapon.
Yeah, but he's like, what, 50 now? He's lived a great life.
He's pushing it, but I mean, you know, that's easy for us to say.
He banged the president's daughter.
What?
What? It's the secret ending in 4.
That's true.
No.
I would buy every second of that. Those games are fucking batshit insane. All right, fellas, if you don't mind, I have found an interesting article from BuzzFeed News. That's right. That's right. An artifact from the past.
Oh.
Well, that's right. BuzzFeed's not a thing anymore.
Let me take you back to the year 2016. The last years of the Obama administration.
Oh, what?
Things America's about to make some insane choices. Actually, this is October of 2016.
Oh, wow.
The eve, the calm before the storm. Everybody's hope for the future is high. Destiny 2 is doing some interesting things. The new expansion is great.
Literally saying it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
The storm is coming.
The wild hunt has been spotted in the skies over Denmark. Old headless King Vold slathering for blood at the front. I've been reading Hellboy. But I came across this. This is indeed another installment of Jordan Reads You a Listicle. And we may have even read this listicle before, but guess what? We're back and we're here and we're alive. And just join us. Just go with us, all right?
You know, time brings new hot takes.
Yes, with time comes new hot takes. Thank you. Thank you. So this is an article titled 16 Spooky Jinn Stories That Will Change the Way that will freak you out.
I don't believe we have covered this.
That will change the way you think about genies, I saw somewhere. For those of you who don't know, jinn are the kind of the biblical predecessors and the Quranic predecessors to modern folklore about genies and things like that. The word is connected at the very least, but they don't, from what I understand, have the same connection. They're beings made. They're not demons, because demons also exist.
They're spirits. They're a pre-Islamic spirit.
Yeah.
Like they've been in the region. I mean, they're old Canaanite shit. Like this is back when even the
it goes deep.
Yeah, the Canaanite people were all like, "There's 7 bull gods, and each one is death."
Whoa, crazy.
No, I made that up, but
I mean,
there's a cool YouTube channel called Esoterica where like goes into the history of Canaanite gods.
So these are some really cool stories that I thought were a bit illuminating to the way that more traditional kind of paranormal jinn encounters are experienced, or how they are sort of how they interact with people. So this is from BuzzFeed, BuzzFeed.news, 2016. Everything's fine. Number one, story number one, the fight. One time my mother-in-law was sitting in her bed. She looked over and saw a woman sitting in the chair next to her bed with long pointy fingers and a face with very sharp angles. She was so frustrated and annoyed with the jinns. They see a lot in their home and are no longer afraid, just really annoyed by them, that she reached out and grabbed the jinn by its wrist. She yelled, "Get out! I'm tired of you! Get out!" It started to try to pull its wrist away and eventually tried to bite her hand because she wouldn't let go. She pulled her hand away before it bit her, and then the jinn vanished. That's from Sakina Blue on Facebook.
Right. Well, solid paranormal preparedness, I guess. Just grab them and scream at them.
Yeah.
You can't scream all your ghost problems away. However, that is what most YouTubers in Saudi Arabia do on their ghost hunting channels. Good screaming scares the jinn.
Remember that guy who was going into like abandoned places and fighting ghosts? Like straight up doing karate with them?
I forgot about him.
That fucking hero. Remember that guy?
Well,
kick the shit out of Abe Lincoln.
It's probably out there somewhere. Putting a
nice
goddamn spook in an armbar.
Yeah. Number two, the jinn and the locket. At my boarding school, we had a few cases of bullying. In one instance, a bully broke a chain on a student's neck. As soon as that happened, the girl started to speak in a male voice while her body contorted in strange positions. It said it was a jinn and had traveled from a faraway place. Meanwhile, the bully's tongue swelled and almost prevented her from breathing. Long story short, teachers were called into the room. Hey, break it up, you two.
I mean, it's the teacher how to.
Apparently, her parents knew and had gotten the chain for their daughter from a shaman to hold the jinn in. This is from Tematope Barakat Lawal on Facebook.
Okay, so the child was already possessed or something?
Apparently.
And the chain.
And this was some kind of a warding
gotcha.
locket. And
or perhaps it was being followed, like a jinn on his shoulder, waiting for the moment to attack.
Oh, they just hang out in the shadows, man. Your shadow.
Yikes. What?
Yeah, your shadow specifically, Jordan.
No.
Don't look behind you.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Remember that from the Ricky Bobby movie?
I do remember the Ricky Bobby movie.
2016. I think it came out way before that. Number three, communicating with children. This happened when my grandfather was Egypt's ambassador to Spain and was living in Spain. I was 2 years old at the time, and my mother said she would see me standing by the staircase constantly talking to someone, and when she would put me to bed, I would stare out the door and say, "Tick-tock, tick-tock." Later on, my grandmother mentioned to my mom that she thinks I might be seeing spirits in the house. And when we were talking about it, my grandfather said that the TV in his room turned on and off sporadically and sometimes could see shadows running across the balcony through the slits of the blinds. My grandmother said that it's known that little children and animals can see spirits. So when they saw me talking to something, They assumed there was spirits in the house, and I was the only one who could communicate with them. So this feels more like a traditional like ghost story. These other ones, like the first one, feels a bit like a ghost story, but almost like a fairy tale. Like,
yeah,
there's something kind of like, not trying to diminish or conflate. There's something almost goblin-y about it. She's like, get out, and she's like, tried to bite her. And then the second one sounds like a demonic possession. And then this third one sounds more like a traditional ghost story. So it's kind of that's why it's hard to pin down for me. Like I didn't grow up with the folklore, so it's hard for me to kind of wrap my head around. Like all I've got for genies is like, I guess like almost like a witch.
I think it's more of a
spirit,
closer to like an elemental force.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's a spirit, elemental spirit.
So we are kind of in like a fae category type situation.
I think there's much of fae about jinn, and I think that Islam and video games and whatnot have made them seem more deity than they are. Like more I guess more aligned with our religions versus what they are.
Sure. Number 4, hooves. This is an old Persian story. One day, a lady goes to the public bathhouse. She pays the attendant and goes inside. Once inside, she notices someone in the bathroom with her. She looks down at their feet, but instead of feet, the person has hooves. The lady freaks out and runs outside as fast as she can. She rushes to the attendant and tells her that she saw someone with hooves instead of feet. The attendant looks at her, lifts up her skirt, and asks, "Like these?"
Oh,
I don't like that.
That was a spooky story to tell in the dark.
Yeah, that's a spooky one. Number 5, the busybody. I grew up in an Arab household with many Arab. That last one was from Avar 5. With many Arab families, so I've heard many scary jinn stories. A family friend of mine claimed that when she went to bed one night and her whole house was a mess, by the time she woke up, her whole house was clean. For some reason, that freaked me out, even when I was little. Every night, I made sure that my room was clean so that jinns wouldn't clean it for me. Nowadays, being a wife and a full-time college student, I could only pray that a jinn would clean my house for me. And what the heck, cook dinner as well. That's from Tast, being a bit cavalier with the unknowable forces.
That is a funny way to make your kids do their chores, though.
Truly.
Like, secretly do it while they're sleeping and be like, I guess you invited a spirit in.
Yeah.
If you don't want them coming back.
Kind of echoes of sort of a yokai exposure.
Oh,
you better clean your toilet, or else the worst Pokemon you could think of shows up. Number 6, the Night Whispers. A few years ago, when I was on my 3rd trimester of pregnancy, I would only be able to fall asleep when dawn came. Just as I was about to fall asleep one night, I felt pressure on the end of the bed near my feet as if someone very heavy sat on the bed, which was weird because I didn't even hear anyone come into the room. No creaking door, no footsteps. Just then, an eerie voice spoke straight into my mind. The language was unintelligible and distorted. I knew it wasn't human, but to my surprise, I understood what, quote, it was trying to say. My brain processed it easily, as if I had learned the language somewhere in the past. It asked me to pray my morning prayer. I was too sleepy and too scared to actually open my eyes. What if its face was suddenly right in front of my nose? So I responded in my head, communicating without actually opening my mouth to say a word. Later, please. I'm so tired. I didn't get to sleep. After I said so, the weight on the end of my bed lifted. The air, which was previously heavy with presence, became light and clear. I opened my eyes a little and saw the earliest morning light gleam through my window. My door stood still. No one came in or out. I fell back to sleep.
Yeah, you saw yourself something weird.
That's from P439 BF994D.
I oftentimes think of shit like that though, to where you can believe those so hard that something does like psychosis in your brain, you know?
Could do. This also could be, this these are kind of pretty consistent with like sleep paralysis, hypnagogia symptoms.
Right. Well, and that one could even be like, maybe she feels if she's used to, doing the morning prayer at that time,
Mm-hmm.
just feels like there's some manifestation of guilt about being too
Interesting.
tired to do it.
Yeah, and her
Interesting.
like own brain that's all like you gotta do stuff is all like you
Sure.
gotta pray.
Now, say this was a jinn, some unknowable being of smokeless fire from a faraway place.
Sure.
Why would it want her to pray?
I don't know, just keeping you on your toes.
Are the jinn? Are they also like?
Well, that's why I think that
I,
they're more of an elemental thing because it's
right.
they're typically associated with I feel like catastrophe, but there's probably some benevolence to them.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah. Yeah.
there wouldn't be like the modern
Yeah.
sort of possibly
The wishes.
transnationalized genie character.
Sure. Sure. Number 7, the landlord. So apparently in Saudi, my aunt lived in a house that was always being visited by a particular jinn who used to annoy her family. Once she was laying in bed at night with her husband, she felt that something was off, and when she left the room, she found her husband watching TV on the couch.
Oh no.
When they went back to the bedroom to confront the jinn, it just laughed and went away.
It's
That
very
just
Jin like.
It's from Sashilu.
yeah, that feels more mischievous than anything. It's just like I'm going to sow discord because you don't like that
But
your
that's a
husband stopped
very like
watching
spirit.
Sports Center.
That's a very sports thing too, or that's a very Jin thing too. Is like there's chaos spirits and stuff. Like
Yeah,
not all Jinns are monolith of the Jin culture.
this is truly helping me kind of conceptualize, expand the jinn tree in my
Mm-hmm.
mind. Number 8, the protector, an excerpt. Generations back, one of my forefathers taught Quran, the holy book, to a child from a jinn's family. The jinn child became a hafiz, memorized the Quran by heart. That's what that means. The jinn's parents appeared in front of my grandfather, and in return, as a thanks, they offered him many different things. So they can be religious, like again, like some like fairies, right? Will be like, no, maybe not. I'm mistaking that. Um,
No, I hear you though.
uh, there were huge trays filled of gold and silver were brought and whatnot, but he would not accept it. He said, I did this because I believe I will be rewarded by Allah. They wouldn't go. The jinn said, you have done such a big favor to our generations that we want to give you something. After so many arguments, they wouldn't go. So my grandfather said, okay, then what I would ask of you is that you have to take an oath and promise me for that the next 7 generations you would not hurt or anyone or make anyone's life miserable.
I can't keep that promise for a week. How am I supposed to do this for 7 generations?
And
Wow.
that is the end of that story. There's no attribution from BuzzFeed. It's a post from someone. I'm sorry, someone. I wish we could
It
I wish we
definitely
could.
it definitely has like that old world like I'd say probably like 500 AD, 700 AD style like ghost story or like myth or folktale to be like I was told not to brush my teeth and so I didn't. The
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is interesting how they're like, so they're very religious and they love that this person taught their child to become a hafiz. But at the same time he was like, he knew the whole time that they were like, yeah,
Oh,
these
if he
guys could
took,
fuck you up.
yeah, yeah, it feels like if he accepted any of the opulent gifts, they would have been like, "Ha ha, we
Certainly
got
felt
you."
fraught. Yeah. Number 9, the territorial jinn. My great uncle went to visit his cousins in India. His cousins told him that since it was summertime and they would all sleep in the courtyard together. Wait, since it was summertime, they would all sleep in the courtyard together. However, they told him he wasn't allowed to place his bedding in a particular corner. Apparently, a jinn slept there, and strange things would happen if anyone disturbs that corner. My great uncle said it was nonsense and decided to sleep there anyway.
Heck yeah. Test fate, man.
Man, come on, dude.
I love it. This is
One
that
night.
shit that gets me hard for paranormal stuff.
One night, there's always some scowling uncle who's like, "Pshaw, poppycock, a predatory hunger, you say?"
We'll put that to the test. I'll
Yeah.
bring a beer.
Yeah. One night he woke up on the other side of the court. He laughed at first and thought it was his cousins who were pranking him and decided to sleep there again. The following night, the same thing happened, so he left a note next to his pillow saying, "Stop pranking me. I know there is no jinn." That night, he said he was pushed off his bed and his bedding was thrown to the other side. A note was thrown into his lap which said, "I sleep here." The scary part is it wasn't that dark and there was no one there.
Oh,
That's from Miriam 3. Miriam
That's-
H.
that's a spooky one.
We got 6 more tales. Are you ready?
I'm ready for it.
Number 10, Mr. Fantastic. My uncle once told me a story about a couple. The husband used to work in the force, so he would be sent on long trips outside the village. His wife was usually lonely, but she befriended a man. He would sit on her courtyard wall with his back facing her so she could only see his face when he turned around to answer back. It was a sweet friendship. One evening, she asked him to come over for tea and to bring his wife along with her. But instead of getting down and using the door, he took his leg and stretched it 10 feet down her wall to her side of the yard.
I'm sorry,
says-
horrifying.
He said, "Why didn't you offer me tea before? I'd love to come and have chai with you."
I didn't realize when you said Mr. Fantastic, it was going to actually be a Reed Richards tale.
Yeah, that's also from Miriam H3. Number 11, the husband. My friend was staying in the north of Morocco for a summer. One morning, she woke up with a big triangle of henna on her hand. She showed it to every person of her family, and they said the only valid reason that she was that she was married to a jinn now. She was never lucky in love since. It's by
Bummer.
Kenzak 3.
To be honest,
Yeah.
with men nowadays, ladies, wouldn't you be better off with a gin?
It sounds like they did a really mean prank to her.
It does, for sure.
It just destroyed her sense of self-confidence.
Number 12, marital strife. An excerpt. The assistant to the sheik switched the lights off, and the sheik began reciting Quran in a very strange way. He read it backwards, and then read parts of verses in really, really strange ways that I've never heard before. Suddenly, he said, "The jinn has arrived. Make your presence known by touching every one of us sitting in the small circle." That's when it got really scary. I felt an almost electric current running through my leg. As it went around the circle, everyone screamed almost at the same time. After that, the sheik asked the jinn to bring back the evil curse which had been cast. The jinn disappeared, and we did feel something rush out the window. Bring back, like take it with it, maybe? Maybe that's a
Yeah,
a
this sounds like
mistranslation.
a translational
It
issue.
came back, and suddenly it dropped something quite heavy onto the chandelier. It was a huge package wrapped in nylon and covered in mud. The sheik then unwrapped it, and he began reading the scroll of paper written in Arabic, but also really strange writing. That's the end of that one.
Well, you said it was an excerpt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. 13, never leaving home. Recently, my mother-in-law was helping her daughter fix up her home, and as my mother-in-law stood in the hall, she heard someone whisper in her ear, "You think you can move and get rid of us? Guess what? We're coming too. You will never get rid of us." No one else heard it. It's from Sakina Blue on Facebook.
Do you think we should start a ghost ASMR YouTube channel?
Yes, but it's
probably.
going to be adults only.
Number
Well,
14.
duh.
The laughter. My mother was visiting her parents. While she was praying in her room, she heard her mom laughing at her in the doorway. After she finished praying, she went to her mom's room and asked, "Why were you laughing at me earlier?" My grandmother replied, "I've been in bed for a few hours now. I wasn't laughing at you." My mom concluded it was a jinn trying to distract her from her prayers. In the same house, you could hear footsteps walking through the house and might feel someone sit on the bed while you're sleeping. I also used to have one in my bedroom. Every night around 3 a.m., I'd hear this old lady crying. We lived in the corner apartment of the top floor, and I couldn't find out from where it was coming. I thought it was coming from under my bed. It got so bad, I had to stop sleeping in there. That's from Gabriela Adibpur on Facebook. Two more. Number 15. In our old home, my oldest niece would wake up around 3 a.m. She would hear what sounded like a party going on and hear all of our voices. But when she would go into the living room, the lights would be off and no one would be in the room. Sakina Blue again. The prank caller. This is the final one. An excerpt. So then her brother said, "What's going on?" and tapped her on the shoulder. Suddenly, she looks his way and uses her hand and throws him up against the wall with extraordinary power. They call this Hafiz, a Quran expert. He tells the girl, "It's not right of you to take control of a person's body. You can't do this." And so he starts to read Quran and says, "You need to leave the body." But the jinn didn't want to leave. He's like, "I like this body. I'm not leaving."
That's something I would say. I relate.
Yikes. That's the end of that tale. So there you go, folks. I hope this helped kind of illuminate a little bit more about the mysterious and oft-times dangerous and spooky jinn encounters.
Certainly
be careful out there, folks.
Added more facets to the general understanding of the jinn.
I certainly hope I didn't offend any jinn. I did not mean to. This was in the spirit of education. Any jinn listeners, we're happy for your listenerhood. That does it for my segment that I'm calling Jordan Reads You a Listicle That Scares Him a Little.
This was fire. I love the lists. I love learning about different cultures and the shit that goes beyond the movies, you know? Like, this isn't your stereotypical jinn nonsense.
Yeah, it's interesting to come across the those kind of deep folklore that like goes back and back and back of a region that you just like you missed during your story listening years.
Yeah, you
even though we got genies in our tales, they were not necessarily as treacherous.
There was no Jafar though, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe
we did get that Robin Williams one. Remember that story you just told?
Yeah. Yes. yeah. Anyway, I am going to respectfully ask the speaking skull to select another speaker and not strike any bargains with it.
Truly, I took the Traveler's Deal, if for those of you who are familiar, and I shouldn't have.
Oh boy.
So I've lost my right to the speaking skull. And I just couldn't find a segment. But I want everyone to think about, what would you do if aliens gave you a choice between Taco Tuesday or Casual Friday?
Taco Friday. Rebel.
Yeah,
Casual Tuesday.
how casual is the Friday? Can
They
I?
can't tell you when to eat tacos.
Yeah.
They can't tell you what to wear.
I'm
You
thinking you
only
gotta
work for them.
pajama tops, no bottoms.
That is when I'm at my
Okay.
most casual. I will be wearing a loincloth made of a slice of pizza and some string.
I said no bottoms.
All right. Eats the
And
loincloth.
the banner at the corporate office says tops only.
Tops
No
only.
explanation.
Bottoms need not apply. What? All right, Nate. The skull has selected you.
All right. Well, let's talk about an UFO.
Oh, let's talk about specs, baby.
Hmm.
Let's talk about rays and beams.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hovering over the forest. I
What?
can see you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is
Pretty good.
about this was pretty solid. This is about the Cape Girardeau, Missouri crash of
Ooh.
1941. You'll notice
Oh.
that predates Roswell.
It does by like what, 6 years?
Few
5 years?
Yeah. So I've got a couple things here. Let's just start with this article. As the U.S. Secretary of Defense prepares to release it. So this is in 2021, right before we got the that first disclosure.
Oh yeah.
Right. So this is, and they were talking to Blake Smith, author of ML41, The Bombshell Before Roswell.
Good
So-
title.
It's good. It's good.
It would
That'll
work
stick.
better if it was a little bit more famous.
Gonna look
Well-
good on a table at a book signing.
Yes, that's true though.
That's kind of what he gets at in this article, is that because it's right before, this information is about to come out, and he's like, this is it. They're finally going to talk about Cape Girardeau. That's the thing I wrote the book about.
Right.
Quote, everyone was told, do not talk about this. This is a matter of national security. It didn't happen, he said. Getting hard evidence for this has been like trying to nail Jello to the wall. It's very frustrating.
Are we not supposed to talk about it, or didn't it happen, General? Black bag gun.
But yeah, so he spent a lot of time, put a lot of effort into figuring out what happened here. This is what he's put together.
Okay, hit me with it. I'm ready. I'm in my UFO news receiving chair. No bottoms.
He said the UFO went down in a field somewhere west of the Cape Girardeau airport between Cape Girardeau and Chaffee. His main
I know it well.
His main source for the details about the crash was the granddaughter of a pastor named William G. Huffman. The granddaughter said Huffman got called to the scene of the plane crash to pray for the victims. When he got there, this is a quote, when he got there, he got the shock of his life. There was no cylindrical airplane with wings or propellers. There was a round silver disc that was broken open, and there was debris, metallic shards in the field that had set fire to the field.
Oh, shit.
According to Smith and Huffman's granddaughter, there were 3 creatures at the scene. They said 2 had already died by the time Huffman arrived.
But from something else.
Yeah,
They found a bandsaw and were being unsafe with it.
Oh, the whole reason they crashed is that they were huffing nitramine.
Got that good gold spray paint, that good Krylon.
I gotta say, I accidentally huffed one time because I didn't understand how paint fumes work.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure, yeah.
I'm a fan. Also, it was around my mouth. It was for a bit, and then me and Natalia just kept inhaling the paint around our mouths, and we're like, "You're high too, right?"
Funny. Yeah.
It's good stuff. What I'm saying is
Nicole has a very funny stand-up bit that she does about like how she can't handle drugs, like any drug. She's like, I've got narc brain. Something about my DNA is like, you're going to cry when you take drug. But one time she did like ankle surgery. She had like what was it called?
by force she had to do drug.
An accessory. She had a lenticular accessory, I think it was called, which was just like a little knob on her bone that was making her ankle run weird.
Okay.
So they took it off, and they had to give her fentanyl. And in the bit, she's like, and I get it.
Yeah, I was like, she gets it now.
Fentanyl rocks.
It's 1 to 1,000 from somebody that's
keep me
largely
away from fentanyl.
Yeah.
If
So
there's
what you're
fentanyl
saying
in the
is that-
house, don't let me near it.
TV's redacted
Mm-hmm.
approves of fentanyl.
Yes, yeah. Apparently, it's really good. It gets you real high.
I get it.
Anyway, I imagine the still living creature at this crash site also would have appreciated some fentanyl, assuming it would
Yeah.
have done something for them the way it would have for a human structure.
Yeah.
One of them was apparently still alive, still breathing, as Reverend Huffman knelt over the creature. They were about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, your typical grays, as we would call them today, with big black eyes and long, thin arms.
The OGs, the boys.
Yep. And the creature expired in front of him.
Oh,
No.
that's sad.
At which point, of course, the military arrived and forced everyone to secrecy and took all the evidence.
Would you guys take a taste?
Yeah.
If an alien died in your arms? I wouldn't. I'm just asking.
I mean, yeah. Just a quick lick, you know. Put
What if
my
you got
finger
powers?
in, touch
What if you
it
got
to the
powers?
tongue.
Yeah, no, you want to try to Elliot the ET, right?
You want to
Finger
try to
finger action.
maximize blood
See-
exposure.
Yeah.
Do kind of a blood brothers thing. Ugh.
Smith goes on to say, ever since it's a big mystery. Where did they take the physical evidence, the bodies, the debris, the crashed vehicle that was cracked open, which Reverend Huffman had said had little gauges on a kind of instrument panel and tiny little seats, and some hieroglyphic writing on a silver band inside the cockpit? He couldn't make it out. He thought it was very mysterious.
That's mad mysterious, dog.
So of course, this is from KFVS 12. They reached out to the FBI, who of course responded. They were unable to identify records responsive to that request. The USAF had a similar response that said they researched their files and found no documentation concerning this event.
You know what I find weird is that China has great records, and we don't know how to keep records as well as ancient China.
I think about that all the time. I think about how much stuff is lost and how many times we have to relearn the same lessons of the past, because with time comes new riffs.
That's fair. I am holding us to standards that I myself cannot
and
keep
how much
up with.
shit in like I was thinking about like in Edinburgh and surely in parts of China, like entire Central America, just entire civilizations
lost to nature,
been reclaimed by nature.
Sure.
And like in Edinburgh, there's like in the high street, they discovered like old merchant cellars from this like 1600s where people were forced to live sometimes. And they're like these stone chambers. It's crazy.
That's right. You did a little segment on them. I forgot what they were called.
The catacombs or no. It was something else. Nicole just said Old Riki.
Yes.
It was the Old Riki tour. Yeah, it's a history can disappear right under our noses.
That's fair.
If we forget about it. And we're a bunch of dumb idiots.
Yeah. Well, and that's not even that long ago.
Truly, truly.
And this is disappeared from 1941, although I feel like this is more of a cover-up. Anyway, this article ends thinking, well, what more is there to say? And I have a whole ass Reddit thread filled with stuff to say.
That's the best sentence I've ever heard on the internet.
So the Reddit thread starts out where pretty much where that article left off. There's Huffman performing the rites. Military shows up. And they're like, "Hey, everybody, you saw nothing. You've heard nothing. If you say anything, something is going to happen."
Yeah, I've heard nothing. I saw nothing, man. I'm the monkeys. My mouth is covered.
So this Reddit thread, which I will say at the beginning, I'm pretty sure is cut pasted because it jumps around a little bit. So I've tried to piece it together as best as possible, but there might be some little janky sections. Anyway, when Huffman arrived back home, he decided to tell his family everything. So, he walks away from the military saying, and this is 1941, we're at war.
Yeah, you don't walk away from the military. The military walks away from you.
And he goes home and he's immediately like, guess what?
Yeah, you ain't gonna believe what I saw at work today. Hey, hon, how was work? Oh my God, I'm so glad that you asked.
This being years before flying saucers and grays took the public by hold. So, everyone's like, okay, crazy, weird, but that's, maybe it's a Nazi plot or some shit.
Yeah. The Nazis were in the sky and on the airwaves.
Yeah, they were up to their hijinks.
He tried to pretend it never happened and eventually went to sleep. But he realized over the coming weeks that nobody spoke of the incident. A fireman who'd been called at the crash scene was one of the few people who spoke of the incident around town afterward, and he felt like he was being watched. Any evidence anyone had tried to take from the scene had been confiscated by the military. Except for one. The photograph of the last rites. 10 days after the incident, the photographer who snapped it, Garland Fronabarger,
good name,
great name, wizard name,
arrived at Huffman's congregation and corroborated the event. Garland handed Huffman the photo after hiding it from authorities, and Huffman later handed it to his son Guy to hide in the house. Guy wasn't scared of the photo and instead thought it made for a great conversation piece, pulling it out during dinner parties. Now, this is a place where it takes a jump. It feels like maybe there's a paragraph missing. It immediately starts talking about a character named Charlotte, who I later determined is apparently Guy's daughter. And this would be the granddaughter who talked to the guy who wrote the book. Springfield found her highly trustworthy. Apparently, she had been talking about it too. Afterwards, Charlotte began interviewing people in the UFO community, finally ending the Huffman family's long string of silence and bringing the story into the public's consciousness. After Charlotte came forward with her family's story, others began to come forward with their stories as well. One of these was former neighboring Sikeston, Missouri resident Linda Wallace. Sikeston was home to the Missouri Institute of Aeronautics, otherwise known as the MIA, a location widely known for training military pilots. Back in 1941, Linda's father was one of those trainees, and she'd heard rumors that her father was one of the military men who descended on the crash in Cape Girardeau, shooed away the bystanders, and brought the material back to the MIA in Sikeston. And Linda's father's story might answer an even bigger question: what caused the UFO to crash in the first place? We already figured out they were huffing.
Yeah, They're having a good American time.
No, spray paint, right?
Huffing is the only true American drug. I guess crack is as well, but like it's
Wow, but that's
it's cocaine. It's it's just better cocaine.
No,
But
no,
huffing,
yeah,
now that's American.
that's American culture right there.
On the evening of the crash, Linda's father was using an object called a heliograph, one that used the reflection of sunlight to send Morse code to passing airplanes. The rumor was that perhaps the reflection distracted or blinded the craft. So they're thinking they just couldn't see and dove into the ground.
Right.
Linda's mother asked her father about it, and he laughed it off. But when he asked his superiors about it, they pressured Mr. Wallace to have a conversation with his wife and tell her to never talk about it again. Later, in 53, so this is, I think that whole section was maybe supposed to come after this section. Whatever, doesn't matter. 53, a friend named Walter Fisk asked to borrow the photo to show it to another friend and have it authenticated and maybe make some more copies. Guy trusted Walter with it, but after Walter left, Guy never saw him or the photograph again. Years later, in the 1990s, beloved UFO researcher Stanton Friedman decided to track down Walter Fisk and find out if the picture exists. Friedman tracked down Fisk, then in his 70s, who said he had no idea what Friedman was talking about, but that he'd had a close encounter of his own several decades prior. On paper, Walter was an insurance salesman, but many found him mysterious, believing he might actually be working with the government as a spook or spy or both. I don't know why they decided to differentiate those two.
Well, it's good for a paranormal podcast, that's for sure.
Sure. He admitted to Friedman during that meeting that he had, in fact, worked for the State Department and said at one point he was an advisor to the U.S. president. He was living in Albuquerque at the time, just a few miles from Kirtland Air Force Base and Sandia National Lab and the Manzano storage area, rumored home to advanced military aircraft and even a spacecraft. Charlotte Mann, Guy's daughter, was 11 at the time that Fisk dined at their house and ran off with the photo. Prior to that, she had said, so yeah, these are definitely flipped, said that she'd seen the photo over 20 times and had a perfect recollection of it. So when 84, when William Huffman's wife, Floy, was in her last days, William apparently had died in 59, Charlotte decided it was now or never to ask about the photograph and what happened that night. She spent a few days interviewing her grandma, Floy, finally gathering William's full account. She later typed up the full story and sent it off to former intelligence officer turned UFO researcher Leonard Springfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big Leonard Springfield fan.
Sure. Yeah.
Oops, what the fuck just happened?
He revolutionized a field that I'm very interested in, but I can't go on because it would take up too much time.
Skinnerding?
Does it involve the Kingman, Arizona case?
Yes, it does, in fact.
Right.
Why don't you go on? Because I will just nerd out on it.
It doesn't go into it. It just briefly mentions, like, this is where you would know him from. Then Mr. Wallace was called away to a long training assignment in Chicago, and after that he never spoke to his wife about her work ever again. And it was then that Linda's mother began putting together the same strange dots around what was happening to people in Sikeston. A series of inexplicable automobile accidents, a few unexpected suicides, a man who hung himself in his garage after working on a secret government project. She brought these all up at one of her card games, and one of the other women said, and this is a quote, they put this quote in all caps.
Good.
Do not talk about it, lest ye be next.
Wow.
Over time, it began to nag at Linda that if the whole event was real, what happened to the recovered craft? Linda began doing research and received some information that the material did not, in fact, go to Sekeston MIA. Within days of the crash, an extremely large cargo plane was parked on one of the runways of the MIA. As noted, a plane that large had no business being at the school, and it only used
only small planes coming out of the school.
Well, because it's used for fighter jet
Yeah,
training.
okay.
So
those are relatively small jets.
yeah, they're like it's
Okay,
made for
alright.
one pilot, probably maybe two.
I don't give
Maybe
a fuck. I'll park my
two
Cessna wherever it
if they're
wants to land.
dating.
It was clear to some in town that the presence of that large cargo meant that the debris was being moved to somewhere more secret. So this is kind of, it feels like an open secret by now.
I get that feels
Like
from it.
definitely some people were like, you know, way too many people responded to a crashed aircraft
Yeah.
and saw something
Yeah.
and for sure spread it around
They're
town.
trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah. So then again, this thing kind of jumps. I don't know who this Reverend Holt character is, but Reverend Holt agreed as Holt led him inside the building through a series of secret doors and stairs, eventually leading to a massive basement area. The walk was so long, so winding that Holt began to tire, asking his cousin where in the world they were going. All right, so all right, I'm trying to put this. The guy in what the fuck was it? Doesn't matter. We'll put it together later. So this is one of the guys that's close to the guy from Albuquerque that's close to the president. Also knows this other guy. And he's taking him into a secret off limits area. And they're cousins, Holt and Hole. Holt began to tire, asking his cousin where in the world were they going, but eventually they came to a door, one leading to a storage room. And when Hole finally opened that door, the contents inside blew the Reverend's mind. There were crates of metal objects, shards and debris from a material Holt had never seen before. In the back was a very large object with a cloth. It appeared to be round, saucer-like in shape. But the most shocking part of all was a series of 3 jars lining a shelf, and each jar contained a small, human-like body floating in the clear liquid.
Oh, the bod.
Oh, yeah, that changed.
It's the bod.
3 creatures shockingly similar in build to the ones Huffman had allegedly prayed over in the weeks before. When Holt looked over to his Secretary of State cousin, Hull reassured him these were creatures from another world, and the look on his face assured Reverend Holt that this was no hoax. Of all the places in the world, why would they store such world-changing evidence in the basement of such a wild political hotspot and major tourist attraction? Because in 1941, this is a pretty massive Air Force base. This is the one outside of Albuquerque. With World War inching closer and closer to America's doorstep, FDR had hired an influx of new guards to protect the Capitol building. Meanwhile, there was more security there than ever before. This is the same place where supposedly like all the Project Blue Book stuff was going on.
Okay.
There is a different theory, apparently, that the debris was taken to the basement of the Capitol building. But it sounds like it was, I mean, it might have been moved between places. Who knows? In 2009, sisters Lucille Holt Andrew and Aileen Hold Gramley opened up about a story they'd gotten from their father. Like Reverend Huffman, he was also a man of God, so this is Reverend Holt. a Church of Christ pastor named Turner H. Holt, who happened to have some significant ties in the government. So that's the story. So yeah, they fucking. I did less of a good job than I thought about remembering which parts went where.
No worries. It seems strange that they're all chopped up.
Yeah.
Listen, HTML was hard.
Fair.
Anyway, this is
with Squarespace, you don't have to.
In 1942, FDR wrote a memorandum, the Cape Girardeau 1941 UFO incident, ordering Albert Einstein, apparently, to look for ways to continue using his research into atomic energy from recent celestial items.
Ooh.
A real smoking gun might be the Twining white-hot intelligence estimate drafted by General Nathan P. Twining, head of the Foreign Technology Division. The 19-page leaked document was clearly intended for the highest levels of security clearance because it offered an explosive revelation. While parts of it are redacted, it references, quote, the Missouri discovery of 1941, and it implied that said discovery was, quote, extraterrestrial in nature. It also suggested that the government may have tried to reverse engineer that debris to create their own technologies. Page 16 goes on to mention even the recovery case of 1941 did not create a unified effort to exploit the possible technological gains, with the except of the Manhattan Project. So the question comes up, was this crashed ship maybe used to push the whatever they needed, some sort of technology that became the atomic bomb?
Yeah.
Oh, almost certainly.
Ends with William Huffman's granddaughter, Charlotte Mann, believes the Twining report contains the validation she needed regarding her father's story. She said, quote, I have not forgotten holding that paper in my hands and realizing that my family's story was real. It was solid, and for me, was an answer to a long time question. But there's slightly more, because this crash happened. Remember the weird airship sighting in, what was it, the 1890s?
Yes, I do. Love that one.
That was nearby.
Oh,
So
interesting.
there's that little connection
Wow.
for possible, strangeness in the sky, and there may be a David Bowie connection.
Nice.
Wow. We will have to hit the David Bowie connection next time if it's longer than just David Bowie was in the spaceship.
No.
That's wouldn't be the end of it, my man.
It's very short. It's basically
right,
there was an article in Cream magazine in February of '75.
Us in a spaceship.
Where it's the article is largely about how, like, it's after a show and Bowie's all tired and he's like, I don't really want to deal with anything. And then some guy brings up UFOs and he's like, wait, I have a story. And he talks about having a pin in his, but he's got metal in his body.
Whoa.
And at one point back when he was just David Jones, before he did any music,
before he took acid,
he actually worked with a bunch of UFO people, where he would in an observatory.
Whoa.
And he would see like 6 to 7 UFOs a night, and like every night for some long period, several months.
That seems like it's too long. That seems like it's gonna hurt.
He was a star man.
Well, that's fair. He is a star man.
Right. The only reason that the pin matters is because later on he's talking about this to a guy who works for a UFO magazine about his time in the observatory and all the UFOs that he saw. And the guy's like, is there any metal in your body? He's like, yeah, there is. And he says, great. If you go to this special spot in Missouri at a certain time of year, and you go like, and this may be the crash spot. It's not clear from the Cream article where the place is supposed to be, but it could be related to this crash spot.
Yeah.
You will see there will, like, out of nowhere, a UFO, a full UFO repair shop, a UFO garage will
What?
manifest in this field.
And did it?
I don't know. This is
He
before...
never went? I couldn't get there.
This is... He had just crossed the Missouri border after doing a show in, I think it was Knoxville, maybe.
Wow.
It was in Tennessee, and he had gone to Missouri specifically for, like, he had a show in Springfield, I think, like a day later. But he had specifically booked a show so that he could try and find this repair shop.
Dang.
That sounds like the most David Bowie thing to do.
I did find this, and I had a freaky space party.
This interview happens before that show.
Wow.
So,
wow. Well, there you have it, folks. Another episode of Werewolf Radar. The Thin White Duke is our ambassador to the blue-collar engine workers of
Ride Shelley and 5.
Cosmerica. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Werewolf Radar. Please check out our Patreon if you want additional content. Please check out our YouTube. Please share the clips when you find them. Please give us 5 stars. Please tell everyone you know what we're trying to do out here, because it's so weird out there, you guys.
Mm-hmm. And everyone out there is trying to sell you gold, not us.
We're trying to find the gold. We want all of us to get gold, okay? We will find the gold. We're going to give you a podcast guarantee that any treasure we locate, orbs, magical scepters, jewels, we will endeavor our best to give, what do you think, 12% of it back to the listener?
I say, our alchemical knowledge is your alchemical knowledge.
Oh, all the knowledge, certainly.
Soon gold will be worthless because all of us will have all of it.
What will we eat? Gold.
We're going to crash the gold market.
Folks, thank you for joining us. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. Until next time, please join us in our super secret sign-off line, but you can tell people about it. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, punch the sky!
Spaceman
Joe!
Punch the sky! Spaceman Joe!